I picked up How to Build Lego Cars, Go on a Journey to Become a Better Builder. Because when I was building my Daily Bugle set and I built the taxi, it occurred to me that I don't build a lot of cars, so I don't know a lot of techniques in car building with Lego bricks. So I thought I'd get the book to kind of learn how to do it. And as luck would have it, this is actually a really new book. It came out in 2021, so it's only a year old from the making of this video. But so I actually get a hardback edition instead of the paperback I usually get from the library. But overall, I was very satisfied with this book. I did get a lot of great tips. We're going to go right to the table of contents, just kind of see how much information is put into this one book. And they do stretch the meaning of a car because you got like bumper cars and things like that. As always, usually begin with just the basics, ways to build, and they talk about the different parts of a car and why you're doing it, the scale, and just some of the basic things you're going to need to start building cars. And right away we start with an off-roader, and this is one where they actually start with one of the base plates, the chassis, that are already kind of built for you mostly. So it kind of starts off easy and you can kind of build up, because once you have that basic structure down, you can kind of build anything. And now here we go, we're already kind of stretching that use of a car, because here we've got a rocket car set in, you know, the future, but it does have wheels, so it's technically a car. But you know, it's still fun ideas. It gives you great builds, and this is where I got interested. This is like how to build your own chassis, because really this is the key. You know, you're talking about length and spacing and how you want to build it. So this is really the key. This is your base of a car. So this is the thing you need to know before you start building your cars. And then from there you go up. And then we have the Dragster, which is a lot longer. And again, they spend more detail talking about the chassis itself and how it needs to be longer. And then they talk about adding the features onto that car. Animal cars. This was a fun one, especially for me who loves animals. And I could definitely see these builds being used in like these carnivals that they're making. Lego's been making lots of these amusement park sets lately, so I could definitely see this being a good addition if you're buying those. And it's kind of, it's all the basic same structure. They just kind of add a few details to change the animal, but the base remains the same. Bumper and mirrors, so just different ways, the features that the car has, you know, different ways you can make a bumper and the fenders. And then the details, and you got bumper cars, which is kind of, again, we go back to this this amusement park theme that Lego has really been pushing lately. I think since like the carousel did so well, I've been seeing a lot more amusement park rides and builds. So here you kind of build your own instead of having to buy those pretty expensive sets. And then the family cars, this is more if you're like into the city building. And again, here they just start with like an already made chassis and how you can build on top of it. The Minifigure Geometry, and this was interesting for me because I'm really into minifigures, but you know, I think we all kind of know like how tall a minifigure is, but this breaks down how tall they are with a tall hat, big hair, short hair, bald. So it gets really specific, because when you're going to put a roof on your car, that's important, especially are they going to be standing in the car or sitting in the car. So this gives you the measurements and a nice visual guide with it. So this is probably my favorite page in the entire book. And then also, while technically, you know, the bottom of minifigure's legs have got the 4 holes, so you need a 2x2 plate or space to put them on, their arms go out about half a width of a plate or brick each, which means it's a full another space. You got basically half and half on each side, so you need 3 total space, but probably 4 to put like the armrest on. So again, this is my favorite page of the entire book. It was the most helpful when you're talking about sizing of your car. Then the auto rickshaw, just how we've got another, again, a different kind of chassis you can build for a 3-wheeled vehicle. And that's going to be a big part of this. It's just the different types of chassis you'll need for different types of cars. And then on top of that, then they start talking about fenders and the roofs you might want to give, or a trunk. Fun features, you know, how can you make the ice cream cone on it, or a sail on your car. And then here we go back to the animals and they show you like the different types of tails you might want to put on the back. The city car, the moon buggy. I love the colors of the moon buggy. But you know, as a space fan, I know it pushes the what is a car kind of idea, but I love space. I'm okay with that. And then engines. You know, if you want to build a hot rod with the engine exposed, here's how you'd build an engine and kind of the important features of an engine. And here they actually talk about parts that are specifically made to be engine pieces or could be easily converted to an engine piece. The quick bikes is just a very small, quick build. If you don't have a lot of pieces, you can probably build this on your own. The golf cart, I think many people have been interested in the golf cart since President Business kind of drove off during the second Lego movie. I've noticed an increased interest in golf carts since then. Wheels and connections, so just how you attach the wheels, because there are different pins and plates that you can use to attach these different wheels, and if you're going to make a big wheel, you're going to have to get in the Technics pieces to give more space in it. And then racing cars, those are always fun, especially since the wheels move. Hot dog car, this is in more detail. You may have seen it earlier where we were talking about the wheels, but here we go into the actual building of that hot dog car. Change up cars. This I found really fun because this is kind of like what I like to do. You get one build, so here's one basic car, and then this car does, with only a small modification, is a convertible. With a small modification, it's a racing car. With a small modification, now it's kind of like a sporty car. Or now, it's a hot rod. So just small little things can change a model drastically, even though you're only really making a couple changes to it. And I think that's one of the fun things about Lego. It's my favorite thing about Lego. The black cab, so if you're in England, you're going to get a black cab. We'll get to the yellow New York taxi cab later. The pickup trucks and just spacing again. So here's where your cabin is for your driver, but then you also need the bed of the truck for either passengers or equipment that you might be carrying. The switching up the pickup truck, so once you built that pickup truck, you could change it. Maybe now it's a tow truck or a hearse, another hot rod. Okay, it's a hard top back, but it looks like a hearse to me. Brick cars, that's just kind of a fun little build, especially with their minifigures that we've gotten now as bricks. Sports cars are always going to be a fun build. Micro scale vehicles, you know this caught my interest because I'm all about the micro scale, even if it is a big chicken on a little truck. Underwater cars, those are kind of fun, especially if you like the underwater themes. And although Lego bricks, sorry, I made it plural again, Lego bricks tend to float, so it'd be interesting how you're going to make it go under the water. Driverless cars, this is kind of a little fun one with the ramp. I like that build. And then it goes beyond cars. There's also things you can use to display your car. So here you've got the floating display, so it kind of tilts up and people get a better view of it. You can maybe make pretend spotlights. A plinth, which I discovered is a stand. I actually looked this word up in the dictionary I was reading because I'd never heard the word plinth before, but it's basically a glorified stand. Or you could put a landscape behind it so it looks like it's driving somewhere. And I really do love these micro landscapes. I know you guys are longtime viewers. What? You like micro scale? No way. The cloud car is a lot of fun. I just love the look of that. It's very creative. I mean, that's why they did Cloud Cuckoo Land, because the clouds are so much fun in Lego. But here we got the hot rods, and just goes into more detail. We've kind of seen how you convert things into hot rods, but this is, well, we're going to build a hot rod from the ground up, and the kind of the fun things you can do with that. Making roads, and there's kind of about the different plates they have for the road plates. And my understanding is, I haven't bought these yet, but my understanding is Lego recently redesigned these and kind of took into account all these things people have been talking about for years. And at first people were reluctant, but then they're like, oh wait, yeah, these are really cool. So base plate, so if you're actually going to be building a city, this page will be important. The pirate cars, so we're getting kind of just more silly builds, having fun, getting that imagination going. You're taking a rowboat and you're going to turn it into a car. The yellow taxi, told you we get it. And see, this wasn't designed for passengers or minifigures, so you're just kind of building it up. You don't have to worry about the size of the minifigure inside and fitting it in, which can be hard all by itself. Doing a side build to build those fenders and trunks. more set pieces. So, if you are building a city, there are things like road hazards, traffic cones, stop signs, speed bumps that you might want to build to add to your city. The gingerbread car. I feel like Lego's always throwing these gingerbread cars because they're just fun working with colors. But yeah, it is fun, the gingerbread colors you get to use. An RV around town. Again, we're getting things you might drive to, like a bus stop, flower plants, a newsstand, a toll booth. Interesting, I saw this bus stop and I thought they would like show us how to make a bus, but there are no bus directions in this book. You got the ice cream truck, and you kind of see like we're kind of going back and forth. They'll show you this earlier near the beginning of the book, and now we're at the end of the book and we're kind of seeing how to make it in more detail. The royal car, around the track, so racetrack here, you can build, what do they have at a racetrack? Maybe that's going to be your mock. So what are the things you need to set up that scene? And this bench here would just be a great way to store your minifigures. So if you're looking for a way to store your minifigures, build a stadium stand. Monster trucks in the garage. So, real cars require a lot of maintenance. In fact, I just took my car into the shop yesterday, so expensive maintenance. But here you got the tool, your tool chest, your tool bench, an air pump. I love this air pump build. That's a fun one. Then we have our limousine, and when I saw the limousine, I thought, oh, here's coming the bus, but no bus. But I like the way they have their limousine kind of fold out, and you got a little party station going on inside. And that was the end, and there was no bus. But anyway, like I said, this was a really great book, especially for those people who are kind of into the Lego cars. So it does give you a lot of helpful tricks and tips in building cars, and it helps inspire that imagination. So this is definitely one of those books that I do recommend, especially for people who love to build Lego cars. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe or check out some of our other videos. Until next time, let's keep building together.